guys, and welcome to Vegan Booty Talks. As usually, your host here, Aurora Gunka, and I have guest with me. She is a dynamic founder of Primal Life Organics and the best-selling author known for her groundbreaking book, Beauty's Dirty Secret. With a passion for natural skincare and commitment to clean beauty, she became a leading voice in the wellness industry. Welcome to the show, Trina Felber. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for showing up. I think you have such an amazing message, and I want to share a lot of what you do. But before we get started, I just wanted to our listeners know you a little bit more. So can you tell us where you're from, where you're living right now, and what do you do for living?
Thank you. Yes. My name's Trina Felber. I live in it's near Akron, Ohio, near Cleveland, Ohio, and we manufacture natural dental and skincare products. I started my company Primal Life Organics back in 2008 is when the original company started, rebranded it to Primal Life Organics in 2012. And we've been manufacturing natural dental and skincare products, which is really important because most companies that make or sell skincare products have them manufactured by someone else, which basically means that they don't get to control the ingredients and the quality of the ingredients. But because we at Primal Life manufacture everything or almost everything ourselves in-house, we control the ingredients. We source our own ingredients. We make sure that who we're sourcing them from is legitimate in the way that they're processing their oils, essential oils, and things like that. So it's really important that that we do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm happy you're here. And how long like you're doing that? How long you doing that kind of a beauty healthy industry thing? And then I wanted to ask what's pushed you actually to get in that field in the first place?
I started my career in nursing. So I was a nurse for over 30 years. I got a master's degree in anesthesia back in 2007. And then in 2000, after I graduated from anesthesia school, my husband, at the time when we were getting married in 2007, we went to Fiji to get married. I was turning 40 years old. We got pregnant right away on the honeymoon. I'm super excited. Came back, started working, and then I miscarried at week 7. And it was that miscarriage that really sparked me to start looking at what in my environment could be causing me to be less healthy or less optimally healthy.
Wow.
So I literally started looking at everything. We changed our cleaning supplies, we changed our laundry detergent, we added air purifiers. But one thing that never dawned on me that I was being poisoned through my skin, putting chemicals on my body that are being absorbed into my body and my baby through my skincare products. But I got pregnant very quickly again at week 7. I was very in tune with my body, hoping that this pregnancy would go past week 7. And I looked at the ingredients on the skincare that I was putting on my skin. I thought it was natural or organic. This was back in 2007. And I looked at the ingredient list and I noticed that there were chemicals or toxins in there. And I immediately disconnected. I decided that no, I can't do that. So I went to the kitchen and I looked for something that I thought would be, safe to put on my skin. And the only thing I could think of was olive oil. I thought those women in Italy are just beautiful. They use olive oil. I'm going to put that on my
Mhm.
skin. That's what I did. I started dabbling with oils and essential oils, making more and more types of products and serums, and my skin cleared up beautifully. I had been suffering from acne since my teens and oily skin, and my skin started clearing up for the first time ever. I had been in 2 rounds of Accutane. I had done antibiotics and topicals and all those things, and nothing cleared up my skin, but my skin started looking better. And then, of course, I had a healthy little baby girl. She's now 15 years old, Mia.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah. And so it was when I started making the products. And then, I was feeding her one day and I'll never forget, I said to my husband, everybody really loves the products that I'm making. Maybe I should just sell them. And I'm thinking this little store on Etsy. Well, my husband started his first business when he was 13. He's been a serial entrepreneur. And so, as they are. He turns around and he says to me, you figure out what you want to be called. I'll call someone to start working on your logo and I'll get a website started. And then, pretty much that's how Primal Life was born. Within a year, I had made probably 20 products. I got the website launched, on her first birthday. And we've been making products ever since that, fit the lifestyle of people that are health minded.
Yeah, well, exactly like my listeners and me. So that's why I'm so happy you're here and can talk about that more deeply, because I'm sure everyone can go in the kitchen and start put olive oil on their face, but I don't think it's an accurate to 100%, right? So can you tell us a little more about your products, and specifically the one that I get interested in is your mouth care? Because we are not only putting that on the skin, what we do with our teeth when we brush them, we actually entering our mouths like we eating the food, right? And me, as a being plant-based for almost a decade, I always was curious, like, how can I do that in a more efficient way? And then I switched to a plant-based toothpaste and kind of like a, environment-friendly toothbrushes, but your product is totally different level. So I want you to go in deep and kind of explain, first of all, why we should all switch to the better mouth care and how to do that in the best way.
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. Oral health is linked to internal health. It's directly linked. It's the gateway or gatekeeper, either way you want to look at it, to internal health. And that's because your gum tissue, a lot of people suffer from bleeding gums or inflamed gums, and that's a portal of entry for bacteria, viruses, toxins, all sorts of things to get into your bloodstream, which then can travel throughout your body. It goes to your heart, your brain, your reproductive organs, your thyroid, it goes everywhere in your body. And those toxins can, be hormone disruptors. They can be bacteria that creates plaque, like in the heart, the vessels of the
Yeah, I
heart.
understand.
And for infertility for both men and women, a lot of the ingredients in dental products are hormone disruptors and can cause health issues, including cancer. So it's really important. And you might look, I know your audience is vegan, and you might look at it and say, okay, there's all plant-based ingredients, or they're not. They're either plant-based, but there's no animal. I guess the best way to put it is there's no animal ingredients in my products. But what you have to also look at are the chemicals that are in that product. Because even though
Yeah.
chemicals aren't considered, they're not animal products, most of them are not animal products. They're not fitting into that healthy lifestyle. And most people that are doing a vegan diet want to be healthy. And so that's where there's a disconnect, is the fact that even though the product might say vegan on it and it might not have any animal products in it, it probably is loaded with chemicals. So when I created my dental products, a little bit of background about my story with my dental, my daughter at the age of 2 had a molar come in, and that molar had a defect in it. It was in essence a natural cavity that developed in utero. And so we took her to the dentist, and the dentist took one look at the tooth and he said, we're going to have to pull that tooth within a year. It's a pretty significant defect. He said, what we'll do is we'll put a temporary filling in it since she's 2, and the filling will fall out every 2 to 3 months because it's temporary. Every time it falls out, we will either pull the tooth or we'll put another temporary filling in it. But I fully expect to have to pull the tooth within a year. And as I was leaving the dentist office, he says to me, don't worry, Mom, because he knew I was upset. He said, don't worry, Mom. We put a temporary filling in it. Now we just hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, this mama is not gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna go home and see if I can figure out how to save that tooth. So that's what I did. I got on the internet and I started doing a lot of research. I found Dr. Weston A. Price, who was a dentist in the early 1900s. He discovered the link between cavities and gum disease. And he's got a lot of research that the FDA basically buried. They don't want you to know what he's done or
Oh
what
my,
he's discovered. Yeah. So I took his research and all the takeaways from Dr. Weston A. Price, and I built my oral wellness program around his research. And there were 3 takeaways that I noticed. He said that the mouth has to be alkaline. So the products that you're using have to be alkaline. If they're not alkaline, when they're acidic or neutral, and when your mouth is acidic because there's bacteria that causes acids, there's sugar in your mouth, and all the foods that we're eating, most of the foods that we eat are acidic. When your mouth is acidic, the minerals leave your teeth. It literally, the acids wear away at your enamel. When your mouth is alkaline, if there's minerals present, the minerals can go back in and remineralize the teeth, basically making them stronger. And it helps to kill the bad bacteria that's causing that acid buildup inside the mouth. So the first thing was that it had to be alkaline. The second thing is that you have to have minerals present in the whatever products you're using. If there's no minerals in there, you're just cleaning your teeth. You're not really strengthening your teeth. So the second thing was minerals. And the third thing was that your tissues of your mouth are dirty. They're filthy. They need to be cleaned. You're exposing your mouth. Your mouth is exposed to everything, not just the pollutants in the environment, but also the pollutants in the foods that we're eating. Or the drinks that we're drinking and water and things like that. So those toxins and contaminants can enter your body through your gum tissue. So by doing a cleanse, a mouth cleanse, a tissue cleanse, you can pull those toxins out of the tissues of your mouth and make sure they don't get in your mouth or in your body, as well as heal the gum tissue. So that's what I did. I created my dirty mouth tooth powder. It's got it's alkaline. So we use baking soda. So if you're looking for at your products, you want to make sure that it has baking soda in it. That will signify that the product is alkaline. Otherwise, most likely the product is not alkaline. It's more neutral or acidic. The second thing is you want to make sure that there's minerals in it. We use nanohydroxyapatite, which is calcium and phos. That's the exact same minerals that are found in your enamel, as well as a blend of 3 clays. The 3 clays are bentonite, white, or French green, and kaolin clay. And those have they have calcium and phosphorus, but they also have all the other minerals that your teeth need to stay healthy. And then the third thing is the detoxification. When you're brushing with a clay-based toothpaste or tooth powder, the clay is very detoxifying. It binds to toxins and pulls it out of the tissues. So it's deep cleansing. So my daughter's tooth, I made my dirty mouth tooth powder. We started brushing her teeth with it. And that tooth that was supposed to need to be pulled within a year lasted 10 years. It fell out naturally at the age of 12. And that original temporary filling that was only supposed to last 2 to 3 months lasted 10 years and was still in place in that tooth. In fact, the tooth had remineralized over that filling to prevent the bacteria from getting underneath the filling, because that would have been what would have been the death of that tooth, for instance. So
Wow.
yeah, so I felt like I did my job as a mom. I saved her tooth. She never had any issues with that tooth. In fact, my kids, she's now 15 and I have twin boys that are 13. And between them, they have 0 cavities. They never have any plaque buildup. They have great dental checkups.
Wow, that's so cool. So, you created that kind of like a tooth care after your daughter experience, right?
Correct. Yes.
And yeah, and how do anyone who are interested to switch their daycare like routines, right? How they can do that, like purchase the product and then what? Just completely follow the instructions on the product and switch from the regular toothbrushes and toothpastes. So
Yeah.
it's a complete package, right? You don't have to do it like a cleanse, like I say, like for a couple weeks. You just switch it completely and use it forever. Is that's how it works?
Yeah, my dental detox kit comes as a kit. So it's got everything that you need. It's a 60-day supply and everything that you need to make the switch. And then once you're done with the kit itself, you just buy the replacements of what you need. So it comes with a morning and nighttime tooth powder. I always start people on powder because tooth powder is basically the paste without the water. So think about it being super concentrated, meaning it's going to work quicker. You can switch to paste after you're done with the kit. So after the 60 days is over, if you prefer toothpaste, we make a paste as well. Same formula, except we use colloidal silver, which is great for killing bacteria, the unhealthy bacteria inside the mouth. The difference between the morning and nighttime is that the nighttime formula has charcoal added to it. So it's going to be a little bit more detoxifying to the tissues, which is really good for the healing. You're also going to get our gumdrops. So gumdrops replace mouthwash. Mouthwash is so bad for your mouth, for your body, for your system, because it kills the good bacteria inside your mouth. And that healthy bacteria is required for nitric oxide production. And nitric oxide production is only made two ways inside the body. One is internally with the enzymatic system, makes about 50% of the nitric oxide. The other 50% gets made inside the mouth, but you have to have a healthy bacteria inside your mouth. So if you have sour mouth or bad breath, that means that you don't have healthy bacteria. You have an overgrowth of the unhealthy bacteria, and you aren't making 50% of your nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator. It is extremely important for heart health. Without nitric oxide, blood vessels get smaller and smaller. Nitric oxide keeps the blood vessels dilated so that there's more blood flow, more oxygen delivered, and more detoxification of the tissues. Not only heart health, nitric oxide is important for brain health. It's important for sleep, immune system, but also for sexual health and fertility. So erectile dysfunction is directly related to a decrease in nitric oxide production. Think about what happens, for during those times, and what you want to happen. You want an increase in blood flow, and that's what nitric oxide can do, is increase blood flow. Otherwise, things get a little floppy. And for women, it's the same thing. Women need an increased blood flow during sexual activity as well. And so nitric oxide is going to increase that. If you're not making enough nitric oxide, that's where you're going to have some problems. Fertility, or just women, both men and women's health is also dependent on nitric oxide. Especially women, when you're thinking about fertility and getting pregnant and maintaining a pregnancy and then delivering a baby, you do need increased blood flow. You need increased blood flow to the uterus. You need to have a good blood flow to the placenta, and then supporting the baby during, pregnancy and delivery. So what this is going to help you do is switch your microbiome inside the mouth, the environment inside your mouth, to be more alkaline, to have that healthy bacteria and have a healthy nitric oxide production as well. The other things that you also get, the dental floss. Our dental floss are picks. The picks are, we're a very eco-friendly company. I made sure that everything is eco-friendly and Mother Nature loved.
That's why I like it. Yeah, you
So,
guys are amazing with that.
yeah, and our packaging is very eco-friendly. So the floss picks are made from cornstarch, and then it has a bamboo string. Let me go back to the gumdrops really quick, because I got to the mouthwash and I got off of it. But the gumdrops replace mouthwash. The gumdrops are an olive oil mix with some essential oils. So you simply put 2 or 3 drops on your finger and then rub them on your gums after you brush your teeth. And that's going to increase blood flow, reduce inflammation, but it's also going to speed the healing and support a healthy microbiome. So that replaces mouthwash. People should stop using mouthwash, because about 97% of the mouthwashes on the market are toxic, and they are silently killing us, literally, because they're destroying the bacteria that is healthy and supports nitric oxide production. The other things that you get in here, you get a tongue scraper. It's copper. So scraping your tongue is essential in getting that bacteria coating off your tongue. The coating on the tongue, the white coating, causes more acid buildup and is going to create more chaos and prevent the nitric oxide production. So a simple 2 to 3 swipes of your tongue morning and night is going to get rid of that coating, and your food will taste much better too.
Wow, this is so much. Even your food can taste better.
Oh, everything's going to taste better.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, as a nutritionist, I absolutely know that, the smell of your mouth is completely are connected to not only your mouth microbiome, but also your stomach microbiome. But this is so much to discover that just by switching to a natural, like mouthwashes and taking care of your teeth are completely different way. You're not only, right, changing your teeth quality, so you may don't need those crazy like visits to a doctor, which everyone hates, but you're also changing your microbiome in your mouth, so you have so many benefits. This is crucial, and I think it's a future in that. I think we are have to switch at some point from that absolutely chemically packed mouth brushes and mouth like a paste in the store. If you look at the ingredients, it's obvious. It's just obvious they are really bad for you and for environment. So I think you are in something really cool. I don't think I have any other company that I can mention that has the same kind of quality products that you offer. So thank you so much for doing so. This is incredible. If anyone want to buy those things, how they can find you, how they can find this product.
I can get you links that you can post where people can get 60% off. We can talk about the teeth whitening kit. So we can talk about that as well, but they'll save 60% off the teeth whitening kit, but also be able to purchase the dental detox kit at a discounted price as well. So they'll save
Wow.
between 30 and 60%. You get the opportunity to purchase 1, 3, or 6 kits. And I always like to tell people that cavities and gum disease are contagious. So anyone that you're living with, or I say swapping spit with, you are swapping bacteria back and forth. So if you're being healthy, you're making the switch and you're trying to be healthy. If they're not healthy, then you're going to be combating, it's going to be hard for your mouth to stay healthy because that bacteria is easily overtakes the mouth. So always make sure that whoever is in your immediate and family and environment, that they also are going to swap products out and get a healthier bacteria inside the mouth so that you're not like passing back and forth the problem bacteria that causes cavities and gum disease. You want to make sure
Yeah, wow. That's so
everybody's
good to
healthy.
know. Wow. So I have to switch it up my husband too. I didn't know that. I have to ask him to do that too. Wow, that's
Yes.
good to know.
But what's
Well,
really funny, a lot of my customers will tell me that they try to get their family members, usually it's the wife, saying, I try to get my husband to try this stuff and he
mhm.
won't. But then all of a sudden, when she's not looking, he goes in the bathroom and he tries it. And she starts noticing that her products are disappearing faster. And all of a sudden he's like, oh my gosh, this stuff is so good. So they might take a minute to come around, but once they notice that your teeth are actually getting whiter and healthier and your breath is better and you start saying, gosh, my mouth feels so good. I can't believe how good my food tastes. Once you start telling them those things, it's usually a pretty quick, a light bulb goes off and they're like, oh, I think I need that too. Most people want a white smile. They want a healthy smile. A white smile signifies health. There's actually a group, a study that was done, and they did, it was interviews for a job, and they had candidates, 2 separate candidates that they picked out. One set of candidates were not as qualified for the actual position they were applying for, but they had a healthy white smile. The other group of candidates that they picked out had a really beautiful, or no, they had, no, they had, let's see, they had the qualifications. They had great qualifications. Their resume looks really good. They could jump in and do that job, no problem. But they had unhealthy teeth. So they either had broken teeth, they had like plaque buildup or yellow teeth. And they all went on the interview. And at the end of the day, the ones that got hired most often were the ones that were less qualified, but had a good, healthy smile. And when the employers were asked about that, they said, because they didn't know this was happening, they said, we noticed that you hired this person and not these people. Why? And they said, well, because their smile was like they have a healthy smile. And that to me means that they're healthy or they're health conscious. And they're probably going to, first of all, work harder, and they're also not going to take off as much time because they're sick. And then they're also going to stay healthier in the future. So it's really important. It impacts people, and you may not even realize how much it impacts you. But, if you're someone who's self-conscious of your smile, or when you smile, you're covering your hand over your mouth, you can change that. We've made some, progresses in the dental world, or at least I know that I've made some progress where you're doing it in a way that it's not harming your microbiome and it's not harming your teeth, because peroxide
Yeah.
is the number one thing used, but it's actually destroying the enamel, and it's also destroying the microbiome inside the mouth.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask, because of course we can go to a dentist and do whitening of your teeth procedure, right? Which is I done, and that's what, what scares me the most when I did it is like how I felt. Like you almost feeling like someone is taking this, like the pieces of your teeth out as you do so, and then your teeth are hurt for a little bit. So I was like, well, when I done it, I only done it once in my life, because when I did it, I was like, this is not healthy. I didn't feel good. Like I was suffering for a couple days. Yes, my teeth got whiter, but I absolutely felt, because I'm so self-conscious, right? That I felt like terrible. I was like, this is not something doing good for me. So I better like drink less coffee, or, eat something that can darken my teeth, right? And just keep them clean as much as possible, natural way. So how is your whitening works? And do you know like the side effects of doing that in the other way? So let the people know that even if they have, full insurance covering their vitamin Ds in a dentist's office by, peroxide, this is doing some harm to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Peroxide works completely different than the way that I formulated my dental products. So I'm going to explain really quick how peroxide works. So this is a model of the tooth. And for most people, the enamel, the enamel on the outside of the tooth, that's the hard part. That's what we notice, starts wearing down. That's where we get cavities, that kind of thing. That's what starts getting yellow. But the enamel is supposed to be the whitest and the hardest part of your tooth. And it's supposed to be pretty thick. Like, in kids, it's supposed to be pretty thick, but in adults as well. If you're truly remineralizing your teeth as you're demineralizing your teeth, like it's a one of those circle doors that's constantly going like this. But if minerals are only leaving and you're not remineralizing your teeth, you end up with enamel that's super, super thin. The layer or beneath your enamel is your dentin. The dentin layer is either yellowish, it's grayish, or it's bluish. So when your enamel starts to get super thin, your teeth almost become translucent. If you look in the mirror and your teeth sort of look blue or gray, chances are good it's not necessarily coffee causing that. It's because your enamel is super thin, and what you're seeing is your dentin. Below your dentin is the pulp. That looks like the pink part is the pulp. Inside the pulp is the blood vessels and the nerves. And, this is all protective. Your dentin is fluid filled. So it's protective. It's got some proteins in it. There's things that help kill bacteria and virus and anything that gets in there to protect the pulp of the tooth. But it's fluid filled and has some minerals in it. And the fluid, that's why it looks like grayish, yellowish, or bluish. The fluid is necessary because it's like your shock absorber. If we didn't have the fluid filled part of the tooth, every bite you take is going to hurt or could hurt because, the pulp is in there with the nerves. The other piece of this is when you talked about peroxide and your teeth get really sensitive or sore when you're doing the therapy or the treatment or afterwards, that's because peroxide is caustic or painful to the nerves. And what happens during a peroxide treatment is, especially when your enamel's thin, it seeps through. And what it does is it dehydrates. It pulls the fluid out of the dentin layer. And by doing that, it's actually disrupting the infrastructure of your tooth and making your tooth weaker. So you're more at risk for fractures of the tooth or breaking of the teeth or cavities, after you've done a treatment. But the reason it hurts is because once the peroxide seeps into the dentin layer, right there is the nerves. As soon as it hits this area, the pulp area, that's when you go, Oh, it hurts. That's why it takes a couple minutes and then it lasts a little while because of course it's in there. Peroxide doesn't last. It's not a long-term solution. It's actually a very short-term solution, which is why you have to go back and get treatments again if you want to do it again. Because your teeth are going to try to put I mean, it's not healthy to have this dehydrated. Your teeth, your body is going to put fluid back in the dentin layer, and then your teeth aren't going to look pretty again. You haven't solved the problem. You haven't gotten to the root of why your teeth are yellowish or bluish. It's easy to remove surface stains. Peroxide will, clay will, charcoal will, but it's not as easy to make your teeth long-term white. What I did is I created a system that instead of using peroxide, it's peroxide free. I decided that if I could rebuild your enamel, thicken it, your teeth are going to be whiter long term. And your dental checkups are going to be better. Your teeth are going to be cavity resistant, and your enamel, the thicker it gets, the whiter it's going to be. So, what I did was create a paste. It's a gel that you put on I put it directly on my teeth when I use it. And it has, it's an olive oil base, which olive oil is so much more friendly to the microbiome. So it's not going to harm the microbiome of your mouth like peroxide will. It's got nanohydroxyapatite in it. It has clay in it. So those are the ingredients that are going to remineralize your teeth. So when you're doing a treatment, here's the mouthpiece. So I'll get into the colors of the lights in a minute, but you do a treatment, you put the gel on your teeth, you put the mouthpiece in, and so that the gel is going to sit on your teeth for about 15 minutes, working its magic, getting those minerals back into your teeth and thickening your enamel as quickly as possible. So it's not an overnight thing. It's not like peroxide 20-minute treatment and then your teeth are white. It will remove surface stains. So a lot of people will see an initial whitening because it's removing the coffee stains and, red wine stains and things like that off the enamel. But long term, what it's going to do is make your teeth whiter because it rebuilt that enamel layer of your teeth. The blue and the red light. And then it also has essential oils in it. So the essential oils are also going to increase blood flow, reduce inflammation, speed healing of the gum tissue. I like the mouthpiece. The device I made because light therapy is really it's really important. Blue and red light penetrates into the tissue. So this isn't just going to hit the surface of your teeth and gums. This is actually going to penetrate a little bit into the tissues. Red light penetrates a little deeper than blue, but blue light was studied by Harvard. And what they found is the bacteria that causes cavities and gum disease has this little portion in it. And I call it little heme portion that healthy bacteria does not have. And so what they found is when this bacteria, the unhealthy bacteria, is exposed to blue light, that piece inside the bacteria explodes, which kills the bacteria. So imagine putting this in your mouth and all these bacteria are popping like popcorn. They're dying. The unhealthy bacteria, it can get possibly between the teeth a little bit. It can get into the gum pockets a little bit because light penetrates, and only the good, healthy bacteria remain. So that's a huge bonus. And by the way, the blue light tends to whiten the teeth because that bacteria that causes cavities and plaque is yellow in nature. So if you end up having like plaque on your teeth that gets scraped off, or you feel that roughness on your teeth, that is going to be yellow in color. So that also discolors your teeth. When you kill that bacteria, guess what? Your teeth will look whiter. So that's what blue light does. Red light, and by the way, if you do one more, you can do both at the same time. So that's what most people do. So there's 16 red, 16 blue. When you do a full treatment with both, it's 32 lights. Red light therapy does the same thing that for the gum tissue as it does for the skin. Many people use it for their skin because it increases blood flow, reduces inflammation, and speeds healing. Like we've used it in the medical field for a long time for wound healing, especially for diabetics. But for the gum tissue, it's the same thing. It reduces inflammation, increases blood flow, and it supports collagen production as well, which is really important for the health of the gums and the bone, the jaw bones of the mouth. So red light therapy is going to help get the gum tissue healthier. And again, the gum tissue, if it's not healthy, if it's inflamed, it's leaky gums, just like leaky gut. Your gut starts inside your mouth. and it's a totally different ecosystem than inside the gut. And if it's not healthy, you're going to end up with leaky gums. And this is where a lot of the portal of entry for bacteria and toxins are into the body. So by doing our teeth whitening system, and the teeth whitening system comes with 20 treatments. So you do one treatment a day, 5 days a week for a month. That's so that my kit will last a full month. After that, this is the kit. And then you also get
People who only listen to us, you can come on my website and or my YouTube channel and watch that video, because you're showing it. I'm curious to say that people are not only like watch us, but listen us as well. But your products look great. I just can tell also your teeth look great. And I love that idea that your health, your gut health start in your mouth. I think it's going to be, a timeline for our podcast, because as a nutritionist, I cannot more agree with that. I think it's an amazing, true, like science proven thoughts that I have to mention. Because if you have unhealthy mouth, well, you have to take care of that before you even get to the gut, or do it in the same time. So I think it's a great point. I feel like I can talk to you forever, but I have a time limit and we have to get to the end. So before we get to go, as you said, you will send me your website, so I'll add it into the description down below, so you can guys easy buy a healthy kit, and the vitamin tooth kit was the 60% sale, and I think it's an amazing deal. So thank you for doing so for my listeners. But maybe someone has wanted to follow your journey and see what other products you may have or create. So maybe you can share with us how people can find you and get to know you better.
You can find me on primallifeorganics.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Primal Life O-R-G. And then on Facebook, it's Primal Life Organics. TikTok is probably Primal Life Org. We're also on Pinterest, and X, I guess, is what it is now. You can also follow me personally on Trina Felber, my name. I do a lot of education as well on my personal Instagram. So those are the locations you can find me at.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I will add that in the description down below so people can easily find that. Before I let you go, can you give us a little advice if anyone want to take care of their health? So what small step they can do today to improve in their health, in their, either it's in the mouth health or just in the beauty health, whatever you can tell anyone out there who are interested to change.
The first thing I like to tell people is that, you're not stuck with the mouth that you have. This goes for overall health. You're not stuck with your health right now. You can make simple changes that will drastically improve your health over time. Might not happen overnight, but it can happen over time. Also, your mouth heals very quickly. So that's why, and it's a simple swap. I mean, we're not telling you to go buy 10 more products. The only thing extra is probably the teeth whitening system that I highly recommend. Otherwise, you're simply swapping out your products for better products that are actually going to serve you and help you be healthy. So making, if I have to give one piece of advice, I would have to say, stop using mouthwash, switch to a gum. Ours is called gumdrops, an oil-based. It's going to serve you much better. And then swap out your chemical-filled toothpaste to something like dirty mouth tooth powder, something that's going to be alkaline, has minerals, and detoxes your mouth. And honestly, I've looked at a lot of companies out there and what they're doing for dental health, and I don't see anyone formulating their products the way that I formulate them. Most companies will hit one or two of those marks, but most don't do all three, which is the alkalize, mineralize, detox. So that's my little saying. And so detox your mouth, that's going to be your best bet.
Yes, I can just say thank you so much for sharing this information. So helpful. As I said, I believe that's the future of our world. We have to switch from the chemicals that we use. And I just can say I wish to see more of the products and more of the things that you can create to make our life better and our planet, or, oh, sorry about that. I have to cut it off. I'm in Hawaii,
Yeah.
and every first day of the month we have testing the
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't really hear it until you mention it, but yeah.
oh really?
No,
Okay, I
I
thought
couldn't.
because
Yeah,
for
no, I
me,
can't. It's
for me,
really loud.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, I
Yeah.
don't really hear it.
Okay, well, I don't know when it's gonna stop, so let's go ahead and finish up. I will finish this podcast. I will just cut it off because I'm not sure how long it's gonna be. It's about 5 minutes sometimes. Okay, thank you so much for your time today. I will send you all the links when I will post that so you can share if you want.
Awesome. Yeah. And share when you post stuff.
Oh, okay, let's just me finish up that.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Trina, for being here with us today. And I wish you have an amazing new product coming up for saving our health and the planet. And thank you, you guys, for listening, Vegan Booty Talks. And I hear you soon. Bye bye.